Hello, Gina Garcia here with IH10 Realty. I'm going to talk today about pre-approvals, approvals, and how you know if you are pre-approved or approved. So based on a situation that happened today, okay? Now, thanks to my good friend and business partner, Erica Slayton, she saved the day. And I always trust this lady because she's been my loan officer for 20 something years and never fails me to get things done. You know, if there's a problem, if there's something that happens, it's never really her, it's always the buyer. The buyer does something or something happens and it ends up getting denied because the buyer ended up doing something they shouldn't have done. So that can be helped. But she's always come through to me to always get things done. And I always trust her with my business. So I go to her for things like this. Well, my listing at 131 Shadywood has a contract, and we've been under contract for a little over 30 days already. And we're supposed to close on the 18th of November. So literally 3 days away from now. Okay. This buyer has been under contract. Now, usually once your appraisal's done, or once your, not appraisal, but once your inspection is done, you're typically looking at an appraisal coming just around the corner. Well, that appraisal should have been ordered like 2 weeks ago. I started getting the sneaky suspicion that something was wrong. Something's going on. I don't know what's happening, but something's not working. And so I'm calling the loan officer, and the loan officer's telling me, oh, yeah, they're fine. We're just waiting for things. We're just trying to get paperwork. We're just trying to, gather all the file and this and that, and then we'll order the appraisal. Okay. Well, another 2 days, another day, whatever, still not ordered. Okay. And I'm finally getting the idea that something's up because something doesn't seem right, because this appraisal should have been ordered several weeks ago. And here we are, about a week and a half, I think it was like 10 days before, 10 days, which was last week sometime. Oh, I talked to her again. She's going to order the appraisal. So we get another 3 days that passes and nothing. Okay. Well, we find out that the buyer is having some problems because apparently there's not enough income. Okay, that's in, according to the lender. So the lender wants to push it to December. Well, we're not going to do that because we've already been under contract for over 30 days. That would take us to like almost 40, 45 days, maybe longer. No, we're not going to do that. So then just like plan B, whatever, whatever. So all these little situations going on. My my thing was that I knew there was something up. I knew I was having this gut feeling that something was not right. Because like I said, if you verify all your documents, if you verify stuff ahead of time, then there's no reason why we are here today. Okay. Well, little did we know, I had Erica step in, my loan officer step in, to go ahead and try to talk with the buyer. Talk to the buyer's agent. The buyer's agent was happy to be able to do that because I just had this sneaky suspicion that something's not right. I mean, because we're just not heading in the right directions. Their answers aren't coming through. There's not clearness about stuff. And then now there's all of a sudden no communication with the loan officer and myself. So something's going on. So anyway, Erica gets in, starts talking to the buyer today, which we finally got that. The buyer was open to that, spoke to the buyer. And we find out that the buyer and her husband and whoever else that she had on the loan was way, way over debt to income ratio, about 100% debt to income. Okay, everyone knows that can't happen. You can't do that. You just can't. There's just no way. And so anyway, we find out that there was no verifications. There was nothing going on. The file wasn't even processed correctly. I don't even know what the loan officer is doing. I mean, that should have been done 30 days ago. Okay. So the moral of this story is basically, even though we're going to save the deal, Erica's going to restructure everything and she's going to make it work because she's just fantastic at getting that done. But the moral of this whole deal is that if you're out there as a buyer looking at houses and you got a letter from a loan officer and it says, oh, you're pre-approved, you can go see whatever $400,000 houses or whatever, you need to call your loan officer and ask him the question, am I pre-approved? What's my debt to income ratio? What do I qualify for? What's my interest rate? Have you underwritten my file? Have you verified all my documents? I mean, you really have to ask those kind of questions. You have to get in the weeds with it. You have to get into, the deep dark communication, the deep communication with your loan officer. Because a lot of times what's happening, they just send this bogus ass letter, to your realtor, and your realtor just like, oh, I'm going to go out and show you houses. And it's a waste of time for the realtor. It's a waste of time for the buyer. And then now you add the seller in there, and you have another party now stressing because they want to make sure to close as well. So it's really important, because not only is it saving the buyer and your realtor time, but it's also saving you money. Because at the end of the day, if you're going all the way to closing and you can't close the deal, you're going to lose earnest money, you're going to lose option money, and you're going to lose your inspection. And if you ordered an appraisal, you're going to lose an appraisal. Because if you can't close on the day that your contract says, you're about to lose a few $1,000s, if not more. So it is so important as a buyer to take initiative. Call the loan officer. Call them and ask the questions. Is my file underwritten? Okay. Has it been processed? Have you verified my documents? What is my debt to income ratio? What's my estimated interest rate? Okay. Did you verify all my stuff? Did you verify my income? Did you verify my documents? Did you verify my bank statements, everything that I sent you? Did you verify my credit report to see if my debts in there were correct? All those questions, you think as a buyer, you say, okay, they should know. They should know because they're loan officers. They won't do that. A lot of them do so many files per day, per week, per month, whatever. And what they normally do in most cases, get your file, gather all the stuff, and put it aside, because they're working on other files that are going to close. So by the time they get around to your file, what is happening is you're probably out there looking at contracts and under contract on something. And then about 2 weeks, maybe so, before you close, they pull your file out, start processing it. And then all of a sudden the things start coming out. Oh, they don't have this, they don't have that. There's a problem here, there's a problem there. And I can guarantee you the reason that they did that is because they saw your credit report was probably 700, 800, whatever. And they're like, oh yeah, that's good. Okay, let's just get a letter out there and get them out looking at houses. A credit score does not guarantee a pre-approval. They have to look at all the documents. They have to verify everything. So I tell you right now, as a buyer, don't make the mistake and go looking at houses if you do not know for certain that you are pre-approved or ready to go. You don't have to have a full approval, but you have to have your loan officer verify everything that you sent so that you know that you can get to the finish line. Because if you can't, you're going to come across many sellers that are going to be like, I'm sorry, you didn't close on time. I have the right to keep your money, and they will try to keep your money, and they will get it. Because according to the contract, if you do not close on the day that you're supposed to close, they can keep your earnest money, and you'll end up losing your inspection that you spent money on and the option money that you put down. And that right there can at least be $3,000, maybe $4,000, depending on the price of the house. So always do that. Always do that. Verify those things that I told you about. And I'll have at the bottom the things that you want to ask your loan officer, so that way you know where you're at, and you'll get those. If you can't get those questions answered honestly, if you feel like they're kind of just throwing stuff at you and trying to confuse you and not clarifying what they're saying, then there's a good possibility you're not really pre-approved. They're just trying to blow a little smoke. So I would tell you, and I would warn you, start talking to your different loan officers and try to get some straight answers, because I guarantee you there's a lot of them out there. What the reason is, I have no idea. But all I'm telling you right now is, if you want to save yourself from losing money, if you want to save yourself from losing any pain and a contract and a house that you really love, start asking the questions directly to your loan officer, especially right before you're looking at houses. Am I pre-approved? Am I approved? Do you have my file underwritten? Have you processed my file? Did you verify my documents? Did you verify my income? Did you verify my credit report? Did you verify my debts? What is my estimated interest rate? What do I qualify for? All those different questions help, because it would tell you right there, okay, she knows my file. She's been in my file. She knows I can get the deal done. Okay. So very, very, very important. And if you want, I have a link all the way to the bottom too with Erica's information. So if you want to reach out to her, because she's fantastic when it comes to that kind of stuff. She will not let you go out look at houses until she knows this deal can be done. So she's really, really good at that. And I've been working for over 20 years. And she's awesome when it comes to getting a pre-approval and making sure a buyer can get the deal done. So I hope this helps a lot. It'll save you some time. It'll save you some grief. So stop looking at houses unless you have a guarantee that this deal can be done for you. Because I can guarantee you one thing: you will lose money if you cannot close on the house. You will lose money. So hope you have a great weekend or a great week. I'll talk to you soon, and reach out if you have any questions. Bye bye.